Hello and welcome to the Special Moves podcast. This is episode 66. My name is Mike Williams. These guys are Liam McKelvey
Hello.
and Jake Klukowski.
There's a bit of a spin there.
Gamers.
Yeah,
I got the name first.
podcast 66, isn't it? So things are changing around here for some reason. We've been playing a few games this week. We got some. Well, you've been playing Runeterra, which is something to do with cards.
Yeah, that's right.
And Liam has been playing Temtem, which is kind of like Pokemon.
Also to do with cards. In a way.
Top pundit Mike Williams on the latest
A lot
games.
of collecting going on this week.
Okay, all right, very nice. I've been playing Banner Saga again, but don't worry, I'm not going to talk about it. We've just done a bonus podcast, which is quite a good one, for patrons. So if you're a Patreon, remember to check out your Patreon feed for Special Moves, because there'll be a new bonus podcast on there from a few days ago. I was quite happy with that one, that bonus podcast.
I thought you meant like we've just recorded it. I was like, we haven't.
No, it's there. It's ready for everyone
Just
to watch.
freshly released is what I mean.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we should kind of mention it, just in case you're if people are patrons and they're just like...
Yeah, they're not kind of aware.
Checking their emails. But they are checking our podcasts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that would be cool.
Little reminder. Quite a bit of things been happening, actually. I thought it had been a quiet week for stuff happening, but there's actually... We were just having a look at some headlines and stuff, and quite a lot of next generation console stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really is.
details.
It really is. Like loads of different video game pundits and leakers, and they're all coming out the woodwork with their own
Insiders.
Yeah, and they've all kind of got the same thing, and I don't know if they're all kind of circle jerking a bit, and they're all like saying the same shit because one of them won't be disproven. They'll all be disproven. You know what I mean? And no one's going out on a limb and saying no. Everyone's going, oh yeah, I heard that as well.
Yeah.
And I can't help but wonder how much of that has got a bit of a knock-on effect on what everyone else is saying.
Yeah, I got you.
Because like if free industry insiders are saying it, and then you say it, and then it's right, you'll be like, yeah, of course, I knew that all along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when things go wrong, they'll be like, well, originally it was a hip hop gamer that said it.
Someone else said it first.
Yeah, it actually is hip hop gamer as well. I didn't make that up.
So we'll talk about a bit of that later on.
Yeah,
We've had some very nice emails this week as well. Well done, everyone who sent us in emails. Remember the inbox?
I reckon it's the audio crowd, to be honest.
Yeah, they feel like very articulate, very well written.
Yeah. Type of people that are too good for YouTube.
It is the writing of a listener. Do you know what I mean? Someone who might have been writing while listening, even. Do you know what I mean?
With a quill.
They're not watching a video and scrolling down, and it's a different thing. So we appreciate that.
I haven't seen the email, so we'll see.
They're pretty good. Yeah, I built them up now, but they're just normal emails, but they're quite good. So we'll have a bit of that later on. But first, I guess, Jake, do you want to tell us a little bit about Runeterra? So we've got a video coming up.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely do a separate video. Okay, Runeterra's come out. It's
What's the full name of it?
Legends of Runeterra.
Oh, sure, of course it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
what all games are called.
And I know what your next question is. Is it with a Z or an S?
Yeah.
Well,
could have been Legends of or Age of
or Legends Runeterra or Runeterra Legends.
Yeah,
it could all work.
Yeah.
It's all one thing at the moment, and it means nothing. And the fact that it's a card game also means nothing. You know, like so much of this it's just all, I don't know. Unless you're into it, you just, it's like Battle Royale. I think card games where you're like, oh, another one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another thing about these card games is they all go up against the big boys and flop. Like literally, as Runeterra came out, a card game died. Duelist. Their servers are shutting down forever.
I saw that.
So it's like a 1-in 1-out system with these.
Yeah.
So what's the difference with this Runeterra then? Well, it's made by Riot Games, who are like notorious for maintaining a game like no other for many, many years, and that game is League of Legends, the strongest and most popular MOBA, the most watched game on the internet officially, more than Minecraft, everything like that. It's been going on and on and on for nearly a decade now. I think it's a decade this year, is it?
I think so.
I think 2010.
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
I remember it was massive in my high school when it first came out.
A fucking slammer. Cosmetic only. So it's not really pay to win. Incredible skill is needed to get ahead. It's professionally played by loads of people. The biggest prize pools and all that. But what that shows is this sort of meta that a lot of games fail at. They have this balance and they have this community that's grown for 10 years. It's what all of these Apex Legends and Fortnite and PUBG, they dream of that. They dream of people talking about it a decade on, and there being a healthy, ever-changing meta and new characters and new systems being introduced, and teams of people that live in like fucking chalets doing nothing but playing it for 17 hours a day. And to do that is a great achievement. So
this is a card game that's kind of been born out of that, basically, isn't it?
Exactly. And card games have an ability to create huge communities around it and huge meta around it and competitive things. And I think that this is kind of a natural step, because one thing about League of Legends is it's very action based. If someone can click faster than you, they might have the upper hand. There's brain involved, but there's also this reflex skill and stuff like that. Whereas card
muscle
games,
memory and shit.
Exactly, it's purely mind. You know what I mean? So if you get it right and you balance it right, you're onto a winner. So Magic the Gathering's been doing it since fucking ages, but I guess the 90s is when it really popped off. And Hearthstone, Blizzard's attempt, did really well. I think that's currently the reigning champ. That's the one to...
Do you think, yeah?
Yeah, bigger than Magic Online.
Yeah.
I think
on a lot of platforms.
On a lot of platforms, makes a lot of
stuff.
money. But at the moment, people haven't been very happy with it. There's this political angle of it with the Blitzchung thing. The fact that people think it's quite stale. It's quite easy to game in the sense that, like, if you're a whale, you can put loads of money in it and win.
Yeah.
Which kind of is the thing with these card games. So I've been playing Legends of Runeterra, a game that's promised to not be pay to win, and you can't grind it out straight away. And I've got to tell you, it's incredible how much enjoyment I'm getting out of it.
Cool, very good.
Nice. I will do a full video talking about the mechanics and how
if you're really interested, there'll be a video.
But otherwise, what I've got to tell you about this, without mentioning any features of the game apart from this, is that like the mechanics of reward mechanics are a bit different in other games. Like, it's kind of the value of experience points that you get, which you use to unlock cards as you go. It depreciates it's like diminishing returns. So like you win your first game of the day, you get 1,000 experience.
Right.
The next is 750, 500, 250. Blah 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 blah. What that means, though, is, and like I'm actually sitting at the top of a Reddit comment on this. I made a comment about this thinking I was going to get slammed into the ground, because there's a lot of angry children on the internet who are trying to no-life it and grind it out. Yeah. They can't pay to win, but they can, by God, they can play the game for 15 hours a day and grind it out. And they're pissed off because of this, because they can't grind it out, which is fantastic for me, because I don't have to put any money into it. I don't necessarily have to put hours and hours into it. I can put about 2 hours a day into it, and I'm maxing out as much as these people. You know what I mean? They can get a bit of a leg up if they're going and going and going. But yeah, they're getting really annoyed. But I'm glad that I don't have to get on and, like I said, like get beaten by like 15-year-olds that are no life in it. Like I feel like it's a really good balance of. I feel like it's aimed at people who played like Magic a lot as a teenager. That they don't have time to meet up with their friends and play it and trade, and they want to put their kids to bed and play it for an hour. But at the same time, when they're playing it, they're playing it.
But it's so new as well. That's gonna, I reckon, that'll fade a little bit as well over time, and you will have more people who are like, it's like any multiplayer game where you come in fresh and you're better than everyone else, but then as everyone else plays it more and gets better and gets better kit and raises that levels up their character and that. The dynamic changes in terms of the pool of players.
Yeah,
I think you'll find that that's the case as it goes on. Yeah, I think at the moment, it's almost the opposite, where everyone is rushing to be top.
Yeah,
we're getting the serious card game people playing, and like everyone's trying to establish a meta, and everyone's trying to establish certain decks and certain builds. I've been rolling with a build that's done really well. I'm going to go into rank tonight, but I've been absolutely trouncing people with it, and like it's cost me. I think I've put about 4 hours into like grinding to get it, but I'm not.
What does that mean in a card game though? What are you doing when you're grinding?
Exactly, this is what I mean. I'm just playing the game,
and
I'm getting points for winning.
It's not like you're like the old like World of Warcraft, just killing boars in the forest kind of thing, is it? You're actually
exactly.
You are just,
and you can't really grind out. You can spend money on certain things, but it's not really paid. It's managed to avoid all of these pitfalls that I think will absolutely destroy a game's reputation very early on. These early investors will become so advanced so early on that it's going to be very difficult for people to get into.
Yeah.
And I think that as the game goes on and as people get better, everyone's going to be going into ranked because they want it to become the new Swim or whatever. He's a Hearthstone player. Then the noob pool will be a lot nicer for everyone else to have a go in. All the big boys are playing in ranked, so and this is the ultimate thing that it makes or breaks the game, in my opinion. Get matchmaking. If you can get like I played Battlefront 2 recently, and I was getting put up against level 200s.
Yeah.
With maxed out everything.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They prioritize, slots in a game that need filling over who's
Exactly.
It's not based.
And when you're playing a 1v1 game, it's not like Apex, is it? When you're playing a 1v1 game, it can prioritize stuff like that. Yeah. And I feel like stuff like that is really going to help. But it's very, very exciting. It's very exciting.
Cool.
So I'm going to do a separate video on it and talk about what it is.
Get into the mechanics a bit more.
Absolutely, and what it's all about. Because I'm going in, by the way, as somebody who's not into League. And this is all about League characters. Yeah. So there's regions of Runeterra is a place, right? And there's different regions, and I'm confused about it. So we'll learn all about that together.
You're coming in as a card game player in a way, aren't you? Rather than a League player.
This will be interesting. If you've ever played Hearthstone before or Magic or something like that, then you'll gain more from it than being a League player. Yeah. But we'll talk about it another time, I guess.
Which will happen, unlike the Tarkov report.
Tarkov
report, episode 1, the final entry, which is now the lost Tarkov.
It's not lost,
report.
it's just somewhere, and I've just not edited it.
I would love if it just went out at some point, even if it was raw as fuck, and it just went out as is.
Audio
with a
only.
thumbnail over it.
Yeah, just put a plain thumbnail.
The lost tapes. Because it's called the Tarkov report as well. It's just got a little bit of extra.
A bit like a found footage horror movie at this point.
Going on. Ken Burns and just get screenshots over Tarkov.
Google stock images or something. I just haven't edited it because it's it'll take me a couple of hours to edit it. I don't think I've edited anything in ages, and then it's I could be playing Runeterra. I've actually been playing loads of games, but maybe let's hear from one of you guys first.
Yeah, well, Liam's been playing the very relevant Temtem, right?
Yes, I have.
So what is this?
So Temtem it describes itself as a MMO creature collecting RPG.
Okay. Pokemon.
You might have heard, just in vaguer terms.
Yeah.
And so this is it's trying to be an alternative to Pokemon for the more hardcore people.
What platform's it on again?
It's only on PC at the minute. It's in early access. I think it's in beta now.
Right.
They had an alpha, but it was only limited to people who bought it.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, it was people who kickstarted it or bought it from the Discord store.
Okay. Well, those words are so... Alpha just kind of means pretty early. Beta means a little bit closer to,
passable.
The actual definition of those words has just been fucking...
Oh, yeah, it's completely, diminished those words.
Yeah.
But, so, it's aimed more at the hardcore fan base of, Pokemon. So the people who care about competitive battling, breeding new monsters.
The people who are raging.
The people who are raging about the Pokedex and stuff like that. And how the people who say Pokemon is too simplified these days.
Okay,
Temtem is squarely aimed at them. And it's for the people who really want to dig into the stats of they want to look at the special attack of the monsters.
The hardcore bandana wearing, vest wearing, smoking, cigar smoking, whiskey drinking.
We're not talking about Bookkeeper Jake here, are we?
Pokemon fans.
We're not talking about Bookkeeper Jake. If it was a random encounter, it would be fucking Champion Ash. Yeah. It would be one of them.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what we're dealing with, right?
So that is squarely who Temtem is aimed at. And so the whole thing is they're trying to be... They want to be transparent about their game mechanics. Because in Pokemon, there's a lot of hidden mechanics.
Okay.
So, for example, when you're in a battle, if someone uses a move that lowers your defense, it just says in a bit of flavor text, your defense was lowered. But in Temtem, it's it's put clearly on the screen. There's
it's for the PC Master Race.
Yeah, there's a status indicator that says your defense will be lower for 3 turns.
Okay.
Where instead of Pokemon, you're just sort of left to guess.
Okay.
How lowered your stats would be.
So Pokemon is 2 Point Hospital, and Temtem is Project Hospital. The Project Hospital, the one that's the same game but a little bit more hardcore.
Yeah. But it's still got a very cutesy art style.
Cool. Key ingredient in somehow.
So when you start Temtem, it's very similar to Pokemon.
Right.
You get woken up by your mum or your aunt, whoever it is. I assume you customize your character, and you go downstairs. You get your Tempedia, and you go to the professor's lab. You pick your starter.
Why surely not the fucking Temtem?
Oh my
god, that's really good.
Yeah. You let them know that. They're very active.
You can have that one.
And so, you go to a professor, you get your starter, you have a battle with a rival.
Yep.
The only difference is you can see loads of other people running around doing the exact same thing.
Okay.
And so when you get into battles, it's all 2v2, these battles, or it's 2v1, but that one you're against is really strong.
2v2, so it's exclusively...
No, I think you're thinking 2 players, right? I thought that 2 of
you mean
your
two?
I mean, like, just random encounters and stuff, or trainer battles.
You mean 2 monsters?
Yeah.
Right, I got you.
So
Tem, innit?
Yeah.
So instead of being like Pokemon, it's like going into a Pokemon double battle.
Yeah, got you.
That is the majority of fights
and that's what the game is, though.
That's the majority of them, yeah.
Got you.
And if you see...
That's interesting.
If you see one, it's usually like a really powerful Temtem.
Okay.
Or a really powerful trainer, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And so, but other than that, you go through grass, random encounters. You catch Temtem with cards, though.
Right.
And it looks like just like a trading card, really, and you throw it at them.
Like a Pokemon trading
Imagine
card.
if it's a cube. Imagine if it's the exact same thing, but it was just a cube.
White at the top and red at the bottom.
World of Final Fantasy already did that, because that had you catch monsters in that and used prisms and that. But so Temtem... And so Temtem, it's got a big focus on co-op as well.
Yeah.
So you can play co-op with a friend, and it'll take 3 Temtem from your team and their top 3 Temtem.
Yeah.
So you can play through the entire game co-op if you want.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so there's dojos in it, not gyms, dojos, which you have to beat for story progression.
Yeah.
There's a Team Rocket-like organisation called Clan Bastola, or Bellastola, something like that.
At least that was a bit different, though.
Yeah.
Team Airship or something.
Yeah.
Airship mob.
Even the level design is very it's like the roots of Pokemon games.
Really?
Except they don't call them roots. They do have like names like something, the Teretian Cliffs or something like that. Was the one
that
place
sounds
I was
good.
in. But
Sounds like a band I'd listen to.
Yeah. But I've been playing it for I think 5 hours now, and it does feel very MMO-y. It still feels like I'm just like grinding out starter quests. It really does feel like end game is going to be where a lot of people find the fun in this, especially with the big focus on like competitive battling and raising and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it's like it's a bit of a mixed bag for me, to be honest. I don't think it's gonna displace Pokemon as the champion. I don't think it's gonna be like, it's not gonna like, this is gonna be the creature collecting game you want in your life. But it's sort of like as a companion to Pokemon.
Yeah.
If you want the more hardcore stuff, Temtem will be right up your alley. But it's it's like the Temtems themselves the designs aren't particularly exciting.
Right.
But I suppose that's like, it's going up against 30 years of brand recognition at this point of Pokemon.
I also can't help but think every single decision that they're making, they're trying to imagine a lawyer auditing this. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If they do a fucking yellow mouse, they are fucked.
It does ear a bit close at times, to Pokemon. I think even one of the Temtem that's in the game was a fan design of do you remember whenever a new Pokemon game comes out, there's always people going like, oh, the new leaks, here's the starters. Do you remember they had that platypus?
Yeah.
That's in Temtem as an actual...
They've commissioned that, I
They
think.
commissioned it, from the artist.
Alright, cool.
So it does feel a bit close. It does have its own unique quirks, like I said, the 2v2 battling and stuff like that, and the trainer battles. And it's got side quests and stuff in it, which, like MMO-y down the side of your monitor, like for quests, and they just give you like healing items and stuff like that.
I think they clearly and correctly have identified the fact that there's definitely an appetite for that.
There is, and it's done very well since it launched in early access.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's number 1 on Steam this
Thursday. This Thursday just been. I think it came on.
Even just putting it on a different platform. You know, it's not on a Nintendo platform, and even just doing that.
It's had 20,000 concurrents for 5 days.
Streamers are loving this.
Servers can't handle it. The queues are like Habbo Hotel back in the day, man. And then
the servers have been a bit unstable. Like, I had an issue where I evolved one of my Temtem, logged out for the day, logged back in the next day, but the server didn't log that my Temtem had evolved, but it kept the same level and all the progress I made. So I had to re-level it up to evolve it again.
Okay.
And that actually happened to me twice.
Okay.
And there's some weird things where I've lost items and stuff like that, where there was one battle I tried to heal my Temtem, didn't do anything. Literally, there was no response whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then I logged back in and all my items have gone like I had used them. But they fixed that now.
Okay.
They've been pushing fixes to the server and stuff like that.
Forgivable seeing as it is in,
it's in early access.
Final form.
And they're a very small, like, indie team.
Yeah.
Like, it's got its quirks, its nice charms, and, like, some of the Temtem designs are quite, like, cute, but I can't see it. Yeah, I think, like, when the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC comes out, I think people probably just go back to that rather than stay with Temtem.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, because it's an MMO, it just feels like I'm going through the motions to like hit endgame.
Do you think it needed to be an MMO?
I don't think it needed to be. I think it's just because, if you go on like Pokemon subreddit and stuff like that, loads of people saying, oh, imagine if Nintendo made an MMO. And I think they were just sort of like, well, we can do that with our own spin.
Helps differentiate it a little bit again, doesn't it? I suppose, by not just being a straight like RPG. But
other than that, it plays like Gen 2 or 3 Pokemon, to be honest.
Okay.
Very similar battle system, like attack, special attack, defense, and all that. And there's even shinies in it, but they're called Luma.
Nice.
Although they do have shinies in Pokemon don't have a purpose.
Right.
They're just shiny.
They're
like bragging rights.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Whereas the Luma Temtem actually do have stat bonuses.
Right.
So it's worth trying to get them because they're like the best of Temtem stuff. It's good. Like, it's good. I'm gonna play more for sure.
Yeah.
And I hope they do like patch in more stuff because I've been past quite a few buildings in it that've literally got work in progress signs on it.
That's quite cool. Scaffolding outside.
It pretty much is.
Yeah.
But
I like that.
There's quite a lot of content in the game at the minute. They've said there's 3 out of 6 islands in the game. Yeah,
and I think it says 70 out of the 160.
Yes, 71
Temtem.
out of 161 Temtems are in it at the minute. And I think I'm about to go to the second island. So
okay.
I'd say it was a good 30 hours of stuff in this like very early access version anyway.
Okay. So that's the official take on Temtem from a man who knows his Pokemon.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a lot of Pokemon people who are interested in this, at least. So that's good stuff, Liam. Let's do an email before we do some news.
Okay.
If you want to send us an email, the address is dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. That's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. Please send us emails and we'll read them out and have a look at what they all get read, which I know you would say that, but I do read them all. But they, just send us emails and then we'll read them out and have a little chat about it, innit? It's a nice way to hear what to give people some actual time to like share their opinions and that without giving like quick hot takes and shit.
Yeah.
And some people do a really good job of it. Some people, like Kevin in Baltimore.
Nice. Okay. Murderland.
So this is a follow-on actually from last week's email from Alan Campbell. So I don't know if you guys remember. Alan emailed last week about the
who could forget
about Plague Tale?
Yeah, the relationship between money and budget and the kind of the quality of stuff like animations and shit like that on a kind of indie or AA.
I installed
game.
Plague Tale on PC Game Pass.
Is that post Alan?
I was in the post Alan world.
Yeah, coincidentally, just been added onto Xbox for PC Game Pass. Is that what it's called? I can't even remember now.
I think it's Xbox Game Pass for PC.
That's
or
it.
Just Xbox Game Pass if you're just on an Xbox.
So side note, Plague Tale Innocence is now available for Xbox Game Pass for PC and Xbox.
What's the trademark for Game Pass taken? Come on, boys.
Yeah, I know. I mean, following on from Alan's email, Kevin in Baltimore says this: Dear Special Moves, I was thinking about the email and discussion about how money in games usually makes them better, and it's an interesting thing to consider. I think a lot of it has to do with where that money comes from. If an indie if an indie company has a hit with an early game and finds themselves operating with more money in the future, I think they're more likely to be able to maintain their indie sensibilities and use that extra money to expand upon things and innovate in really creative ways. But if you expand this to consider the major AAA publishers, things change quite a bit. Those companies invariably have the highest budgets and the most projects, but with that added money comes pressure from multiple tiers of executives with different ideas, shareholders that need appeasing, and countless other factors. You often end up with a huge budget game that has a ton of technical merit, but maybe doesn't stand out otherwise. That's not to say they aren't fun, but once they're finished, do they really leave you with much to think about? For me, it comes down to the idea of artistic vision. Despite having the most money, companies like EA, Activision, and Ubisoft seem like they consider games to be products first, with the actual artistic side contorted often in really clumsy ways to fit around the type of monetization they want. Indie games strike me as the exact opposite. The developers of these games seem like they have a specific artistic vision that they want to share and prioritize that over anything else. When you know you don't have a lot to work with, your limitations are what push you to be as innovative and creative as possible with what you do have. Thanks for reading and keep up the great work. Take care, Kevin in Baltimore. Nice one, Kev.
Thank you.
Good email. He does also say that there are exceptions, AAA-wise, and he mentions like From Software games, certain PlayStation exclusives. He thinks, they are. I'm assuming he's talking about something like God of War, which, even if you really didn't like that, you can still see that, the people who made it really had a clear, this is what we want to do.
Yeah, Death
vision. Death Stranding, absolutely. Kojima just wants to do everything, and that's in that game.
And he does.
And he certainly does.
He certainly tries.
So it's an interesting take. Like, where does that? The question is, like, where does that money come from? Because, like, if a Plague Tale sells really well, gets loads of money, and then their next game is a little bit more polished, a little bit better animations, slightly bigger in scope, that's a different thing to just getting like a windfall from maybe Xbox buys you out, maybe Microsoft just buys you out, says here's a load of money, we want an Xbox exclusive. Do you know what I mean? That's a different thing, I don't know, what do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, isn't it? I'm just thinking about where that money comes on is really dependent about, you might get if you get a Cliff Bleszinski type who's like an investor, but he's a game designer at heart, he might be like, it would be really cool if, and he'll be like meddlesome. He'd be like Ridley Scott. You know what I mean? I'll license this to you, but I think.
But where does the alien come from?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like meddling is basically the problem. But I feel like Xbox seem to kind of be chilling out with that. Which
Xbox are pretty good, I think, at the moment.
They were notorious for being a bit prickish about that, though. Microsoft were very meddling. But I see that they have given money to Ninja Theory to make a new game. Can't remember what it's called. Have you guys seen the trailer for it?
Is Hellblade. It Project Mara, is it?
Yeah, not Hellblade. There's another thing.
They've got 3 games in the work.
And this Mara one, it looks like, another really original idea. Spooky.
But this is kind of raise an eyebrow, because Ninja Theory would have been, they made the game, they made Hellblade, and they made that, again following their artistic vision. They had a purpose. They had a good, real life things that they wanted to apply to it, mental health issues and stuff, and then
there's a second one.
And now there's more to the story, and they're working on another game at the same time. And you kind of look at, I guess, as an extreme example, like Telltale, right? Telltale Games make The Walking Dead, which I never enjoyed, but loads of people really, really liked it, and it did really well. They'd done loads of games before that, but then they get this big successful title, which ultimately is the root of their kind of downfall, because they keep getting these licenses to make the same kind of thing with all these different IPs.
And more than they could juggle at once.
Absolutely, really. And so then that's, how can you tell really interesting and compelling stories if you have your whole team working on the first episode or whatever it was? By the last episode, there's like 10 people or something, and everyone else has moved on to the other 3 projects that need doing at the same time.
The secret is just that simple, innit? Don't tell them often. Name one person that put out consistently good shit constantly.
From Software.
Yeah.
But that's an exception.
That's Dark Souls 2, that. Do you know what I mean?
Even they took a while to get there.
Yeah.
Any PS2 game made by FromSoft is a bit bit dodgy.
No, that's true.
The key to consistency, I guess, is that, though, isn't it? Taking your time, really.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I already kind of spoke about it in last week's That's the Thing, in it, but I was saying that
it's a good reply, I think. It's a good way of looking at it. Like, where does the money come from? That's the point. That's the key difference, I think.
Yeah.
But that's a good email. Thanks, man, for sending that in. So, next gen stuff. There's been a few little next gen things happening this week. The one that caught my eye was the Nintendo Switch Pro, which I kind of mentioned a few times over the last couple of weeks. But there's been a bit more excitement, it seems, this week about the idea of a more powerful version of the Nintendo Switch, which I mean, I think me and Liam were kind of up for the idea of that. Jake, not so much. Cool. Let's move on. No, I like the idea of having. Well, for example, I played The Witcher 3 on the Nintendo Switch, and it lasted probably about 30 to 40 minutes before I was really thinking, hang on a minute, this is not holding up at all, right? And the idea of having that like AAA kind of experience to some degree, handheld, which there's plenty of games that are giving it a good go. It just really fell apart with The Witcher for me, even though they were, CD Projekt had done who did the port for that? Was
Saber Interactive, I think.
So they've done a good job.
What did they make? World War Z they made.
Right, cool. They had done a really good job actually getting it on the Switch, but when you play it handheld, it's basically, for me, it just felt it wasn't worth playing because there's so much of the appeal of The Witcher is the detail in the world and in the environment and stuff, and when you're like riding through it and it's just a blur of greens and browns and oranges. It's like playing it in watercolor or something. It's like an impressionist.
The Telltale version.
Yeah, exactly. It's like an impressionist painting of it.
Cell shaded and chibi art style.
Honestly, they should have done the old Final Fantasy 15 fucking mini version. Pocket edition.
That would have been one for.
That would have worked, But it's So the idea of playing something more powerful with a bit more shiny graphics, even playing Divinity Original Sin 2, which I really like on the Switch, you can still see. If you are a bit anal like me and you do look at like aliasing and you see the faults basically, you see the negatives when you look at graphics that don't quite hold up. They are there on something like Divinity Original Sin as well. Yeah. So the idea of having all that smoothed out, having a bit of a nicer experience, a longer battery life, and a bigger screen. I'm well up for that.
Trying to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Switch was not a pleasant visual experience. Yeah. I think it dropped down to some very, very low resolutions. To everything was just blocky. Yeah. Which was a bit
it's a big. The scale of that game is meant to be big, isn't it?
Yeah, it's meant to be this massive open world with like really detailed fauna and stuff like that. And it's just like it could have done with it deserved a bit more power.
Yeah, and that's the crux of it, isn't it? And it makes sense for Nintendo. They do this kind of thing, don't they?
Yeah, even like games like Mario Odyssey, which I love Mario Odyssey a lot, but when it is like going really fast motion, you can see it like going really blurry.
Breath of the Wild, even but that was designed with the power limitations in mind and visually. Yeah. But even that's got
Wii
some.
U, wasn't it originally?
Yeah, but you look at the art. Yeah, well, absolutely. So it was a
previous gen game scaled up to the Switch.
Yeah, and then the visual kind of the way that game looks is just perfect for it. But even that has this kind of shimmer and a bit of blur in the background and shit like that.
Can dip every so often.
Yeah. So I think it really appeals to me. Jake, in the meanwhile, has sort of sulked and looked at his phone.
No, I was just. Yeah, fuck you guys. I was just because we were talking about the next gen, and I was like, what are those rumors that I saw again? And a lot of things that you guys had been talking about, especially like with developers and stuff. I'm thinking this is all ringing a bell because I heard that Sony's thing that we spoke about last week, their event. Yeah. One of the big things that they're talking about for the investors is which companies that they've acquired. And the rumours are that they've acquired quite a few companies, and I was just trying to remember what it was that I saw. But then I got sidetracked by... I remember that leaked list of games that have been revealed.
So last week we discussed the PS5 in some detail about the leaked info about the upcoming console.
I've seen some other games that quite a few people are saying that we'll see there, so I was just prepping that, making sure I got ready. Well, I mean, sorry to be disrespectful. I don't normally do that on my phone, but it's
the timing of it was pretty funny. But I think as much as I'm interested in the idea of a Switch, let's say, for example, by November this year, right? There's a Switch Pro, there's a PlayStation 5, and there's an Xbox One, whatever the fuck it's going to be called.
It's the Series X, mate.
Then
that's what its name.
Yeah.
The Xbox Series X.
And then there's a rumour that there's going to be a slightly weaker one as well if you're a more budget-conscious person.
It sounds like
Series W. Yeah. Like I
feel like we gaslight them sometimes. Like we've made it up and we're just like stringing them along. You didn't know, Mike? The Xbox Series X. No, that's actually.
No, I'm sure I read. Evidence. I'm sure I read that they were like, that's not actually what they're going to call it. They're gonna.
No, it is.
It's fully confirmed.
I'm sure it's gonna be called that, but they're not like when it comes to it's like PS5 instead of PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah,
Do you know what I'm
it's
saying?
because they said that the new Xbox was going to be called Xbox.
Right.
That's what it
Yeah.
was.
That's what I'm saying.
that's
Going forward, it's just Xbox. The Series X just happens to be
The model.
most powerful model.
that's
of
it.
it.
Yeah. That's what I meant. But so those 3 consoles come out before Christmas. I've got, I'm going for the PlayStation, I think, because if the backwards compatibility is there, that's my main living room sort of.
It's the only one worried about new games, mate. That's the thing for me, because Series X is nah, we're not going to put out an exclusive on this baby for 2.5 years, and plus everything's on PC. Nintendo Switch is just so I can play all the games from the PlayStation 3 at 1080p, not arsed, and pay £36 for buying the device. Fuck off. And PS5 is the only one that are saying we're going to have games on day one, baby, and they're going to be brand new.
Well,
and this is the list I'm seeing, right? Do you want me to just read them off?
Yeah, go on. So this is leaked or what?
Yeah. These are the games that they reckon will be at this reveal event or
just the internet.
They is the next gen player,
the mass.
Insiders.
all these fucking guys, that call themselves insiders, which is just basically Reddit moderators.
We'll call them for now the Blob.
The Blob say Legends with a Z, MLB The Show 21, Gran Turismo 7, a new Killzone, Sly Cooper 5, Demon's Souls remastered made by Bluepoint, The Order 1866 sequel, a new Spyro game, God of War 2, Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
That's
on day one, or are they just saying
they're going to reveal that's what's in works?
Okay,
because
that's the lot.
The big thing at their event is that they're talking about that they want to explain. But the thing that everyone's saying, and this is a lot of people saying, they are going to flex hard on how many people they've got making games for this new console in this event. So I hope it's all bollocks. It'd be well funny. Imagine spending 2 podcasts.
Oh, that would be lovely. Yeah, that would. I'd be.
I wouldn't say no to a new Killzone or Sly Cooper, to be honest.
It's
I wouldn't say no to much of that apart from baseball, sports.
MLB's actually not bad, I've played it.
I wonder how. I'm interested to see what next gen can do with it. I'm not, but I'll just trying to be,
You'll see each individual strand of grass on the.
I want to see. I want to see a procedurally generated human in the crowd, so it's never the same audience twice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. But
it'll pull all your fucking Facebook friends in the crowd or something. It'll be like some social connect.
Yeah,
all those
Strand game.
That crowd. It's all real time ray traced.
MLB The Strand. Kojima Productions apparently bought out by Sony. That'll be announced. Kojima did previously say though that he likes the freedom.
Yeah.
But he also likes money. So.
But okay, he's had ultimate freedom on Death Stranding, and he's kind of had that moment. Whatever you think of the game, he's had that. Kojima is a genius. Here's loads of money. Here's your own fucking studio. Bring in all the movie stars you want. Do whatever you want, and he's done that.
Mm-hmm. He's over it.
To a certain extent, I feel like he might have gotten that out of his system a little bit.
Yeah,
and he still is going to have a lot of freedom if Sony buy him out. They seem like look at God of War, look at even Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is easy to forget. That studio was a Killzone machine. That was a Killzone factory, Guerrilla Games, and they made a third-person open-world action adventurer with a female protagonist who took out robot dinosaurs with a bow and arrow, and they went all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They
and now he's the Prez, the guy here.
Yeah, exactly. So they're not averse to a gamble. They'll put money in it, and they will. They'll support it and make as long as the quality is there.
Also, the thing to make me think that Kojima's been taken over is the fact that he is the big Prez now, and they've got a great relationship together because Kojima made Death Stranding
his game engine.
Yeah, exactly.
The Decima engine.
So I saw that. I saw the rumor that there's 3 new Silent Hills in the works.
I saw that,
Konami.
All outsourced, from what I saw.
Yeah. And that's it for next gen. Oh, and the Cyberpunk news, obviously, that it was struggling on this current gen, so they've
been delayed.
And they've hired Q-Lock to work with them on Cyberpunk.
Studio.
Yeah, they did the Dark Souls remastered. But yeah, so
interesting.
So there's a lot, and the good news is, I guess everybody is. Hang on. No, it's not. What? This time, I was going to say this time next week we'll know, but it's.
February what is it?
By podcast 68 we'll know.
Yeah.
We'll have they are having the PlayStation meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they had last time for the PS4.
And
I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the idea of a new generation of stuff all around, not just PlayStation. I'm excited about the Switch. I'm excited about the Xbox, whatever's going on over there. And then
we'll see more games for the PC as well with ray tracing and shit.
Exactly. That generational leap is like always one of the most exciting things.
Next gen of graphics cards out. PC boys will go mad.
The PC boys are going to go mad. They're going to go mad for Death Stranding when that comes out. Like they're all going mad about Red Dead Redemption 2 now. So I think that's a good thing for the PC lot. Is like the games are catching up to their systems now. So we're going to start seeing games that are going to get the most out of their behemoths. So it's counting down. It's a quiet time. February's the last time before it goes a bit mad, and I think it would be very clever for them to do a reveal in Feb, because GDC's coming up, which is the Game Developers Conference, and that'll be massive for Sony to get some people talking about the next gen. Maybe the devs are chomping at the bit to talk about the technology, ray tracing.
They want to show off their tech.
It's like panel heaven. But if they've signed contracts that they're not allowed to talk about the new PlayStation before Sony, then Sony would be doing everyone working on these new games a solid by announcing it before GDC, in my opinion. But that's just boring industry side of it, I guess.
The dynamics of like going from generation to generation are always a bit different, but I think this one is pretty interesting. What I mean is, so you go from Xbox, the first ever Xbox, to the Xbox 360, and you're trying to convince everyone of the idea of like online gaming, buying a separate network adapter to plug into the back of your Xbox 360, wearing a headset, playing with your friends, playing games with your friends like after school and stuff. You're trying to sell something new there that people haven't been sold before. But then Xbox One happens, and you've like taken that a step further again when you reveal Xbox One. So this time, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. A general sort of someone who plays games priority is. So for me, it's like I want to keep the games that I've got at the moment. I want to bring them with me. I want the option of playing Destiny 2 on this one without having to. I know it's free to play now, but I just want to take all of that with me. I want to take the Division with me. I'm never going to play Division again, but I want that with me, right? And I want Bloodborne. I don't want to have to rebuy Bloodborne. I don't have to rebuy Dark Souls or The Witcher. I want all that stuff coming with me. That's like one of my main priorities.
My dream for PS5 is so I get it on launch day or whatever. Excited, I'm waiting for the delivery man. Snatch the box out of his hands, plug it in, and then I just go to my library and it's got PS4. PS3 games, PS1 games, whatever. That's my dream.
That would
I know
be
it
perfect.
probably won't happen.
What will really happen is it'll arrive. You'll have to install a 56 gig patch. And then the leaks that I saw was that I've seen the console, and I believe it. You put a QR code in, so you don't have to sign in and reauthorize your account and put your card details in again. You got all that, and then you've got the ability to download new stuff.
Amazing.
My dream. I want that. I want to go into my library and see everything from since I first made a PlayStation account.
All the apes from Ape Escape welcoming you in.
Give me that Ape Escape 2 again.
Yeah, man.
But that's what like our priority would be. They're gonna have their own businessy corporate priorities that they're gonna have, and
there'll be people listening that have got completely different priorities than us. They're they don't give a fuck about anything like that. I want to play the best looking game.
I want to play MLB. And I want to see the sweat.
Exactly.
If Killzone's right, that'll be a looker.
Yeah,
because Killzone Shadowfall was like
they're nearly always the benchmark sort of shit, aren't they?
Yeah, fucking definitely. But then having that, having like that 4 or 5, 6 sort of launch games, and picking a couple of games that you probably there's a good chance you wouldn't even pick up normally anyway.
Yeah, I'm not asked about Godfall. I'm gonna get it day one, but I'm not. I would not at all buy it if it was on PS4.
If Super Bomberman R didn't come out on the Switch at launch, I wouldn't have bought that shit.
The Switch had like 3 games or something. It was ridiculous.
Breath of the Wild was one of them.
Breath of the Wild, Bomberman, 4 games was it?
Is it Mario Kart?
No,
that wasn't even a launch game.
It was Breath of the Wild, and there was then 3 other duds.
Clipper Snips.
Snipper Clips.
And was that ARMS?
Oh, 1-2 Switch.
1-2 Switch.
Yeah.
That weird party game.
That classic.
Thing. Yeah. That game that everyone still plays to this day.
So it's going to be an interesting time. But yeah, there's been a lot more chatter and stuff on the internet basically about.
Do you reckon there's anyone out there with a 1-2 Switch tattoo?
Oh, I hope so.
That'd be.
I always think there's probably one person in the world where that applies to. Do you know what I mean?
I always think that. Whenever I'm watching a film, I always think this is someone's favourite film.
I asked
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every film.
I asked my mate yesterday. For some reason, talk about like babies' names and stuff. We were in a what do you call it?
A baby
gender reveal. Baby gender reveal thing, like a family thing. And I was like, do you reckon there's anyone who's called their kid Gandalf?
Definitely.
Six of them, mate. We did the research. Six of them in Britain.
According to the last census.
Since 2001, there's
full
been
fellowship.
There's been 6 Gandalfs.
That's more than I'd expect, to be honest.
So, who knows? Maybe there are fucking 1-2 switch tattoos.
To be fair, 1-2 switch is responsible for one of my favourite YouTube videos where Funhouse played it.
Oh yeah, with the cat. It's 1-2 switch one like the cat. And like draw and it
like the cowboy game and stuff like that.
Shit, man, there was a lot of memes of this, so
there
is a tattoo.
Yeah,
I don't want to say let's find it because we won't. But
nah. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit before we go into another email and some new games about this bit of movement, Jake. Bit of corporate industry.
I wasn't really. I was a bit umming about whether I should bring this up or not because.
What you got for me?
Right. Well, so my day job, I work with like. Twitch and Mixer and all that full time. My full time job is working with streamers and sending them copies of games early to play. So I'm really embedded in the world, and I keep an eye. Like my homepage on my browser is Twitch.
Is it?
Yeah. Straight away, it's always chess on in the morning as well. Yeah, I'm fully ingrained in it. Anyway, so Twitch is like a colossus, as you know, but like Mixer's really kind of doing all right at the moment. You think because you're hearing about it and this and that, but like Twitch has got like 72% of the viewership of streaming, and then the other 28% is shared between Facebook Gaming, YouTube, Mixer, Caffeine, and fucking D Live or whatever the fuck it's called, right? So anyway, Twitch is massive, and the biggest thing on Twitch by a mile is League of Legends, Overwatch, CS:GO, Dota, like esports. It's the biggest
competitive, really,
skill-based stuff.
Yeah, but specifically the tournaments. It's like the World Cup, isn't it? You know what I mean? The League of Legends fucking yearlies and annual tournaments and shit.
Whenever I go on Twitch, there's always something like DreamHack going on or something.
Exactly. So do you know what I'm going to say? Do you know what it is?
No, I don't.
Okay, so it's because they signed an exclusive contract with Amazon, they being like Blizzard and Riot Games and stuff, that the esports is going to be exclusively shown on Twitch. But the contract has expired now, and Google have got it. Okay. YouTube Gaming is now the home of all of these leagues, which means so much traffic is going to be going over to YouTube Gaming. I reckon like that 70-28 split, and the 28 being, I think YouTube Gaming is 13% of that 28, will probably now be something, that 13 will grow to like 45% almost. It's going to be massive, and because of that, I think there's going to be a massive boom again of YouTube Gaming, which kind of it was kicking off for a bit. It was doing all right, but YouTube will now be the home of like that exclusively. Like people will get banned for posting it on Twitch. Streamers reacting to it will get banned. So I don't know if that means that the players as well will also, but I just thought that that's quite interesting. When you actually look at the numbers, it's like out of everything watched on Twitch, 40% of everything watched on Twitch all year is that.
Yeah.
And that is every streamer playing every single game. All 2 million partner streamers or whatever. It's like 40% of it is esports, and that is going away to YouTube. So that's weird.
That's a lot. That's a big deal.
That's a big flex from Google.
Yeah.
Twitch's traffic will almost be halved. But what's going to happen? Will people move over? Ninja was the biggest streamer for Fortnite, right? And like 8% of his fans moved over. Where are the other 92? They're dispersed. They're watching other shit. So what will happen? Will the kickback be that less people will watch it?
Yeah.
Or will everyone move over and less people will watch Twitch? Or will the people watch... Because that's the thing. I think if you're into esports, you're into esports.
Yeah.
You're not just going to go, well, I won't watch the league final. Instead, I'll watch someone play Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
You're going to go where that is, right?
You're there for the actual content, not the platform.
Because that's one thing I don't know enough about real sports to know. Like if ITV Sports had a contract for the Premier League or whatever one year, then the next year it was Sky or BT or
Which
whatever.
happens all the time.
Do people just go, fuck's sake, I've got to go to ITV now, or do people just not watch it? They do, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you're an Arsenal fan, you need to know where Arsenal are in the league in this.
Well, there's like BT, but the BT Sport was just nothing, right? And then they got some like fucking Premier League games or whatever. Suddenly,
this is
and they're giving it away.
Heavy paraphrasing, guys. By the way, if there's anyone out there about to type about some Crystal Palace bullshit, we might not be. But right.
You're at the wrong podcast.
I know what you mean. Cause like a lot of my family are really into F1, and Sky recently. Well, they've had it for a few years now. It used to be on ITV.
Yeah.
Oh, BBC it used to be on.
Yeah.
And it was completely ad-free. You just pay your telly license, you could watch it. But then Sky got the exclusive rights to it, and all of a sudden, my family were buying Sky Sports packages.
Yeah. That's why they do it, isn't it? The only reason they make them deals is to bring the people over. So.
And I think that's kind of one confusion that these people who like Mixer, they bought these big streamers. So if you like not aware, like if none of this is anything that you are interested in, basically there's like some really really big streamers like Ninja, Shroud, and King Gothalion and stuff like that, and they moved over to Mixer.
Yeah.
With and the fans did move over and shit like that. But what then is kind of happened, which I guess Mixer kind of weren't expecting it, is that the person that watched Ninja every day and gave Ninja a $5 a month or whatever as a sub, it's just kind of gone. Nah, I'll watch someone else.
Yeah.
They haven't moved over to Mixer, and they've stuck on Mixer.
That's different to, like you say, you're watching it for the sport in a way.
Exactly.
Which is different.
And it's not another Overwatch league.
Yeah.
Do you know
so this is far more significant than bringing the
there's only one World Cup in there, sort of thing. So, and that's the thing on that level, because in actual football or soccer, whatever, the World Cup is like everywhere. You can watch it everywhere on YouTube and this and that. So they wouldn't dare put that behind Sky Sports, I don't reckon.
No.
But with this, they are like the big official fucking
the
proper
biggest
things.
one, yeah.
So I just think that's interesting, and I think that you'll see that. And then if you're into like game and news, I guess that'll come up in the next month or whatever. But it's going to be a big shift. That mixed with this constant weird thing going on with Twitch at the moment, where everyone hates what Twitch is doing. Well, not everybody, but there's a lot of people online pissed off about Twitch, the Alinity thing, and da-da-da-da. Twitch is there's a bit of a focus shift, and I'm wondering if it's going to be more evenly dispersed. You're basically watching the fucking God being dethroned here. You're watching like a 90% share go to a 72% share, and I reckon if that hits below 60, then it's like, fuck, it's getting serious again.
Yeah.
So Amazon and Google are battling it out like two titans, and I'm just sitting there watching it every day full time, But I just thought I'd share that anyway.
That's pretty
Jeff
interesting.
Bezos weeping as his empire falls.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I don't know who
very
the CEO of
marginally.
Google is. yeah.
Hey, 1%.
Okay.
About 1% is quite a lot of money.
Yeah,
still.
Yeah, exactly. Right, we'll do another email. We'll talk about new games in a sec. We'll do one more email. This is another DS Special Moves inbox email. This one is from Joseph King, who is from London, but he's writing to us from China in Beijing. Beijing in China, the other way around.
Yeah.
The famous country of Beijing. Dear Special Moves, I'm an avid listener of your show, all the way from China, Beijing. That's what confused me. He's really like that.
Okay.
Where I teach English to adults. I've been following you guys since the old PGG days. We used to have a channel called Pretty Good Gaming. That's what PGG is. Yeah. And really enjoy your content. Wanted to tell you a quick story about one of the new health benefits gaming has had for me. As you might know, there is currently a big virus happening in China. It has coincided with the Chinese New Year holiday. Yeah, pretty big fucking news. If you're unaware, get on BBC, innit? Do some reading.
I saw that all the doctors are wearing like nappies because they don't have time to have a piss break.
Oh, it's
so they're all wearing adult diapers.
Building hospitals.
Yeah, I saw they got told to build a hospital in a week.
There's 2.
So many fucking good B-roll there for horror films in 50 years' time.
There's drone footage that is of I don't know, about 50 or 60 like cherry picker kind of diggers just on one site, just digging out the earth in order to lay foundations for a new hospital.
I was going to say a grave.
Honestly, it's unbelievable organisation. Yeah. They're building a hospital in
China know how to get things organised, don't they?
Jesus Christ, it's crazy.
I saw they've quarantined entire cities as well.
Like I can't wait for films made about this.
Wuhan is the ground zero.
Yes, Wuhan, yeah.
But so
first of all, Joe, I hope you're okay. Yeah.
Joseph's in the middle of this. I wanted to tell you a quick story about one of the new health benefits gaming has had for me. So he's telling us about the virus. I rather find this situation bittersweet, as it has given me full justification and guilt-free feeling to how I'm spending my entire holiday, which is indoors, playing video games. The game I've been spending my time on is Death Stranding. And I must say, it's highly addictive. Who would have thought walking around and doing mere fetch and delivery missions for an entire game would be so thrilling? The story is really good. I'm dying to see more of Mads, and I'm
Don't say that,
amazed at how ridiculously long it is.
Yeah.
I'm on day 3 of playing it, and I'm only halfway through chapter 3. The game has also made me want to go out and drink monster drinks. Overall, it's funny how a game about death is helping me prevent catching a serious disease and possibly dying. Therefore, gaming is great for keeping health. Love you guys. Keep up the great work. From Joseph King.
Nice one, Joe. Yeah. Can I request, Joseph, that you send another email just to let us know you're still kicking about?
Just keep in touch, mate.
Yeah. That would be a hell of a last email if something did happen.
Everything is fine here. Thank you.
Yeah. It's bittersweet for me. Loving Death Stranding.
Well, you know, if you've got to stay in, if you're under a government-ordered quarantine, you might as well play some games, you know, pass the time.
Yeah, man. And Death Stranding is like go outside simulator, so I guess you are.
Well, yeah, Death Stranding is about people who refuse to go outside, apart from a certain group of, you know, delivery men.
Yeah.
You're the only ones brave enough to do it.
Well, yeah, Joseph, China. That's
quite fitting.
Do keep us updated.
Yeah, please. Yeah, stay alive, mate.
So let's do some new games before we say goodbye. Then there's a couple of little things happening this week. So last week you guys had a couple of suggestions for me, if I remember rightly.
Yes.
I was going to go into the new games and that, and you had some for me. Do you have any this week? Anything you're looking forward to? It's Switch is quite busy, you know.
I'll pull it up quickly.
Pillars of Eternity is coming out to console. And
That's what I'm
playing
going to talk about.
I didn't speak on it here. I've been playing loads of Elder Scrolls Online. A bit of Pillars of Eternity 2 on console.
Well, I'll say that then. Yeah. So Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire is coming on January the 28th to PS4 and Xbox. So this is a CRPG, quite traditional, but, you know, with like more modern resolution.
Yeah, it's very, very hardcore. There's a good option in which launched with the console version. It didn't launch on the PC version immediately. It has been patched in, where the game is real time with pause, or you can play it turn based, which is great. And like the big argument that anyone who plays CRPGs has, the biggest squabble is which one's better.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about that. What you do have to worry about is whether or not you've played the first one, because this is a direct follow up.
Yeah,
and at the beginning it starts off with this horrible onboarding process, where it's like, what did you do in the first game? And if you didn't play the first game, it's like, okay, create a new legacy. And then you can create a new legacy. And it's like, did you, hypothetically, worship the god Ciliao or Alias or Aodin or Eodoir? And you're like, it doesn't say anything about what any of them do. Just pick a random one. But mate, that could have some grave benefits. I clicked one and then I started the game with -1 to all of my stats, unless I kill 50 of these enemies that I don't know what they are. So like, there's a lot of the onboarding process is horrible. I hope it gets patched when it comes out. Other than that though, it runs
that sounds a bit industry. That I've not heard that before.
What?
Onboarding.
Oh yeah, right, okay, maybe it is, yeah. It's just a bit of a weird, the tutorial is weak, and the loading screens are whack on my regular PlayStation, really not good, but maybe that'll be patched on launch.
What do you mean, just minging?
Just long,
like quite.
I just imagined that they were ugly for some reason when you said that.
The art's beautiful. That's what pulls you through. The design of the game looks great, and
so the loading screens aren't so whack. But the waiting,
the fact that they exist for so long, the fact that they're just like a thorn in my side when I'm playing it. So I'll come back next week with a proper thing when I'm into it. But the game's been about 30% loading screen, 20% Googling so far.
Oh well, one thing I'm really looking forward to, Warcraft 3.
Oh yeah, is that this week?
Is
it? Yeah, the remastered one.
Yeah, January the 28th.
Funny that I've not heard about this because I haven't seen many articles about it. Because
it's the same. No, same. But
if I remember, it was announced at BlizzCon, but it was kind of drowned out by the Hearthstone controversy.
Yeah. I well fancy this. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. No, it's so here's
great
a bit.
RTS.
Here's a bit of Wikipedia for you. Warcraft 3 Reforged retains the gameplay of the original, but its development has spurred on balance changes to the game's multiplayer. So that's in terms of, I'm assuming it's going to look a lot nicer.
Yeah.
But
I never really played the multiplayer. I really enjoyed the story though, especially the Lich King expansion.
I'm well up for. I love replaying RTS games. Right. I'm well up for this. I'm well up for just any of these like Age of Empires type ones that I will always consider that, right? But I haven't really got into that kind of thing. I'm really, these Microsoft Age of Empires, Age of Mythology, Age of Empires 2 has been released like twice, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Re-released twice.
Yeah.
It came out in 2013 as like a HD thing.
And now
they've got definitive, right?
Yeah.
Which is,
I think, on Xbox Game Pass for PC.
They're doing free definitive edition as well now.
And they're actually working on a proper one.
And they're working on 4, yeah.
Yeah.
Proper one. It looks amazing.
But
as well.
this kind of thing, like Battle for Middle-earth 2, I played a shit out of that recently.
Give you orcs, isn't it? That's all you need to keep
Give
you
me
happy.
orcs, yeah. Give me a bit of orcs to kill. But Total War, Warhammer, and it fucking best game of all time.
That's the secret ingredient is orcs.
Yeah, and ideally some kind of dwarfs, or at least like humans who are as stout as dwarves.
Yeah, as long as they grunt a lot. And
hard
and tans.
I'm happy.
The Warcraft 3 orc sounds are like still drilled into my mind.
Yeah,
like jobs done and stuff like that.
Yeah, like those the little sound bites and stuff like that. Always
that is the secret sauce. Like Stronghold, I've talked about this to you before. That has got amazing
peasant sounds,
feedback sounds. They've all got the blacksmith's got his own accent. The archers have got their own accent. There's Geordies, like Fable. Like all these like.
I would buy a Star Wars RTS just because
there is a good one.
Love the droid saying Roger.
Empire at War, yeah.
Empire at War is quite good, and that was made by Petroglyph, who made Conan. They're busy.
Yeah,
weren't they originally Age of Empires guys, right?
Command and Conquer.
Oh, Command and Conquer. That was
it. But they're busy. Like they're still making stuff. They made another Command and Conquer-ish
games of that era.
Battalion recently.
Do they make Grey Goo as well?
Yeah.
They're
like
still,
the guys keeping this alive. I would
absolutely.
say.
And there's meant to be a new Command and Conquer in the works.
That it could be coming back, guys.
The RTS.
I think I told you before. They reckon MOBAs killed RTS.
Definitely. Yeah, that
RTS
makes a lot of sense.
Renaissance, please.
Even StarCraft doesn't do as well anymore.
I'm not going to talk about any of the others. No. Those two I'm pretty interested in. Warcraft I'm interested in. Did you see anything then, Liam, when you had a quick look?
No, nothing caught my attention.
So that's it. That's all right, though. 2 good games there. 2 good games coming up this week. So thanks, everyone, for listening. Remember, send us emails, dearspecialmoves@gmail.com, and we'll have a read. And we actually had loads this week, but, it's... What I like is, they're long. People sit down.
Like some bedtime reading, doesn't he? That's why he's send us emails. He's only going to pick 2 of them.
But people. But that's the thing, though. I need. You don't want it to be all emails, do you? You don't want it to be like some Q&A thing.
Don't question them. They might. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, they don't.
No, they don't.
But having some nice emails, and they're always there to look back. And sometimes I look back and see, maybe I'll pick one from last week.
Before bed, he's like,
that's the Banner Saga slot. That's when I'm playing Banner Saga.
Yeah, that's why you've not talked about
Precious. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about Banner Saga, but it's fucking amazing. Watch us on YouTube. You can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff.
If you're interested in Runeterra, there's a video coming out this week. It's actually going to happen. Not like the Tarkov report.
Yeah, the hidden Tarkov report.
Yeah,
the Tarkov report. This is what it's going to be called. The Tarkov report, episode 1, final entry.
Yeah, remix.
Yeah. And then it's going to have like a red stamp on it.
Oh yeah.
That says hidden files.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hey, nice.
So look forward to that. At some point in the next 12 months.
We have like a redacted line somewhere.
The whole YouTube description will have Jake plays and then just redacted. Right. See you soon. Bye.